Did you know that Melissa Gilbert, the actress who captured America's heart as Laura Ingalls Wilder on Little House on the Prairie, has spent decades hiding something many fans quietly suspected? Now, at 61 years old, Melissa is finally speaking openly about her truth, her struggles, and the lessons she wants to leave behind. This revelation is more than just a confession, it's a raw and emotional journey through fame, heartbreak, reinvention, and healing. In this video, we'll walk through Melissa's life in 10 chapters, from her rise as a child star to her latest admissions in 2025. Stick with us until the very end, because what Melissa finally admits about her life, her health, and her true sense of self will change the way you see her forever. Melissa Gilbert was born on May 8, 1964, in Los Angeles, California. Adopted by a show-business family, she was destined for the screen. From her earliest years, she was groomed for acting, landing commercials before most kids could even read fluently. Her natural charm and innocence stood out in an industry that often devoured childhood dreams. At just 9 years old, Melissa was cast as Laura Ingalls Wilder on Little House on the Prairie, a role that would define her for a lifetime. For nearly a decade, she lived two lives, the real girl growing up behind the scenes, and the beloved half-pint, adored by millions on screen. Audiences saw her as wholesome and pure, but off-camera, Melissa's reality was much more complicated. While Little House looked idyllic on screen, Melissa's personal life was filled with hidden struggles. Fame came with pressures no child should bear, expectations to perform, to smile, to always be the perfect daughter America thought she was. She was still a child, yet she was forced into an adult's world. Melissa later admitted that she often felt lonely and confused during those years. While fans adored her, she wrestled with insecurities about her looks, her body, and her worth. These battles would follow her long into adulthood, where the gap between the character she played and the person she was became harder and harder to reconcile. As she grew older, Melissa sought stability in relationships, but Hollywood romances rarely offered that. She dated several high-profile stars, including Rob Lowe, but heartbreak seemed to follow her at every turn. The fairy tale love stories fans imagined for her were often overshadowed by betrayal, public scrutiny, and deep disappointment. Marriage brought both joy and pain. Her unions to Bo Brinkman and later Bruce Boxleitner ended in divorce, each leaving scars on her heart. By the time she entered her 50s, Melissa was candid about the fact that she had spent too much of her life chasing love in all the wrong places, often confusing attention with true connection. Behind closed doors, Melissa fought one of her toughest battles, her self-image. Growing up in Hollywood, she constantly felt the pressure to look younger, slimmer, and more glamorous. Like so many actresses, she turned to cosmetic procedures, hoping to fit into a mold that never truly fit her spirit. By her own admission, Melissa underwent multiple surgeries and treatments, each leaving her feeling further from herself. "I was chasing youth," she confessed in later interviews, "but all I found was emptiness." At 61, she finally admitted what fans had long suspected. She never needed to change her appearance to be loved, she needed to accept herself exactly as she was. Melissa's turning point came after years of surgeries, failed relationships, and hidden struggles with health. In her late 50s, she had an epiphany. She no longer wanted to live her life for Hollywood's approval. She began to strip away the layers of artifice she had built over the decades, removing cosmetic enhancements and embracing a natural look. Her bold decision shocked some fans but inspired countless others. She admitted that it wasn't easy, but it was liberating. For the first time, she felt she was looking in the mirror and seeing Melissa, not the half-pint, not the Hollywood starlet, but the real woman who had survived every storm. Melissa's fresh start came when she and her husband, Timothy Busfield, moved to the Catskills in New York. Far away from the Hollywood spotlight, they settled into a rustic home where life was simpler, quieter, and deeply fulfilling. Here, Melissa found peace in gardening, writing, and reconnecting with nature. At 61, she revealed that this move was one of the bravest and most important decisions she ever made. Instead of chasing fame, she chose authenticity. Instead of clinging to youth, she embraced wisdom. The little girl from Little House had finally found her Prairie in real life, one built not on scripts but on truth. Melissa has never shied away from discussing her health challenges, which have included spinal surgeries and chronic pain. These struggles forced her to slow down and reevaluate her priorities. Where once she might have hidden her pain, today she speaks openly, hoping to inspire others to face their battles with courage. In 2025, Melissa continues to advocate for self-care and wellness, reminding fans that aging is not something to fear but to embrace. She admits that her body carries scars, but those scars are symbols of survival. Her story is not one of decline, but of resilience, proof that strength comes from endurance, not perfection. Writing has become Melissa's most powerful outlet. Through her memoirs and essays, she has revealed the truth about her struggles with addiction, insecurity, and identity. She admits that sharing her story was terrifying but necessary. In doing so, she reclaimed control over her narrative, no longer defined by tabloids or Hollywood gossip. Fans who once admired Half Pint now connect with the real woman behind the role. Her vulnerability has become her greatest strength, teaching others that healing begins when we stop hiding. At 61, Melissa admits that her proudest work isn't on screen, it's the honesty in her words and the courage in her truth. Family has always been both a source of joy and pain for Melissa. As a mother, she has worked hard to repair bonds strained by years of career demands and personal battles. Today, she speaks openly about the importance of forgiveness, both for others and for herself. Faith has also played a quiet but steady role in her journey. Melissa has admitted that she leans on spirituality, not necessarily religion, to guide her through life's darkest chapters. At 61, she finally acknowledges what many suspected all along: her greatest victories have not been in Hollywood, but in the love she has nurtured at home. Melissa Gilbert has admitted the truth so many fans suspected but never heard from her lips. She spent decades running, from her insecurities, from her aging, from her past, but today, she has stopped running. She admits that she no longer needs Hollywood's approval, no longer needs to alter her appearance, and no longer fears growing older. Melissa Gilbert's confession is simple, yet profound: happiness was never about fame, beauty, or perfection. It was about self-acceptance, authenticity, and love. By sharing this truth, she has given her fans a final gift: the courage to embrace their own flaws, scars, and stories. And in doing so, Melissa Gilbert, the eternal Half Pint, has finally stepped into the role she was always meant to play, herself. If you enjoyed this look at celebrities' most shocking news, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more news like this.